To this AYP Hatha Yoga full practice. So if you just begin this class by taking a seat, I don't have any props with me, so if you want to grab some props and whatever you need to sit on, a meditation cushion or a block, please go get it now. And then when you're ready, come to a seat, close your eyes, bring the hands to the knees or the thighs, and just drop into the body. Allow your awareness to sink all the way down to the contact points you have of your body to earth. And relax the legs, let them be heavy. Let the belly fall out, not holding anything in. Feel the weight of your hands on your knees. Let your arms from shoulders all the way down to the hands soften. Feel that your collarbones are open and wide. And when your awareness reaches your face, allow your jaw to drop, allow the tongue to drop to the bottom of the mouth, soften the cheeks, smooth out the forehead. And finally lengthen through the spine on a conscious inhale as you introduce your conscious breath into the practice. Feel the spine lengthening with that inhale, crown pulling up while sit bones ground down into earth. And keeping this very beautiful conscious breath, begin to straighten out your legs. And we will begin something called heart centering. And that is just moving energy in the body into the heart. So begin at heart center. Both palms on top of each other. Just begin to rub Anahata, heart center. And then beginning with the face, we're going to do everything twice. So bring the hands to the face and just gently massage the face. And sweep the energy down into heart center. And again, from the face, moving energy down into heart center. And then take the top of the head, the back of the head, the back of the neck, over the tops of the shoulders into heart center. And again, back of the head, top of the head, back of the neck, shoulders, over the chest into heart center. And then do the belly, so low belly, side of the hips, all the way round to the back of the hips, up the back. Try and get to the ribs there. And then round the front, diaphragm, rib cage, up into heart center. And again. And then take your right arm out. I'm going to mirror you. And take the top of the arm down into heart center. And then the same arm but bottom side into the armpit, heart center. And then your left arm top side, massaging all the way, shoulders, and then sweeping energy into heart center. Stay there for a minute. And then underside of the left arm, inner elbow, armpit, heart center. right leg, just rub it all the way around, starting from the toes up to the heels and ankle, all the way up the leg, sweeping up heart center. And again, your right leg. And now the left leg. Second time, left leg, all the way up into heart center. Stay here, both hands on top of the heart, just breathe. And then coming onto your backs, finding apasana, or knees to chest. Hug the knees into the chest. And maybe if you feel like rocking gently side to side, you can do that. Stay and maybe deepen the breath here. And then letting go of the knees, begin to bicycle your legs. At what angle you cycle the legs is up to you. The lower towards the ground you are, the more you work the core, trying to keep the lower spine in full contact with the mat and the ground beneath you. So pulling in that core if you are working it. Otherwise you can stay up and it's a little easier. Okay, take one more breath, nice and deep. And then change the direction in which you're cycling, so go backwards. Again, if the legs are low to the ground, keep the belly button pulling in towards the spine, staying with the contact of earth. Take one more breath. And then gently bring your knees back to the chest. Shift your hips over to the left. And on an exhale, let your knees fall all the way down to the right for a reclined twist. Keeping the left shoulder as anchored to the ground as you can. And just breathe into left side body. Breathe into the side of the waist, left side of the rib cage, maybe the left armpit as you inhale. And as you exhale, just let the left shoulder and the knees soften towards earth, either side of the spine. One more breath. And then inhaling, bring yourself back to center. Straighten out the spine from the back of the head to the sacrum. Draw the knees into the chest. Take an inhale, and as you inhale, just shift the hips a little bit over to the right this time. And as you exhale, knees fall to the left side of the body. Open out the right arm, anchoring the right shoulder, turning the gaze away from the knees. And again, using the breath to maximize the stretch. Inhaling into the right side body. And feeling the lengthening that occurs with that in-breath. And as you exhale, drop right shoulder and knees down towards earth, either side of the spine. taking one more breath. And then on your next inhale, gently bring the knees back, up. Again, lengthen and straighten through the spine, nice and flat. Hug the knees a little bit, rock side to side. And then change the grip of your hands, bringing the fingers behind the thighs, behind the knees. And begin to rock up and down the spine. Just giving it a massage from the sacrum all the way up to the back of the head. And maybe you rock up that you balance on the sit bones for a bit and then come back down. And come back down. One more. And the next time you come up onto the sit bones, find Navasana, boat pose. So the knees can be bent or you can straighten out. Come to your conscious breath. Breathe nice and deep. Two more breaths. Last breath. Good. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees, cross the ankles, and just roll over and find tabletop position. Stacking your joints, so make sure that every time the hands form a foundation of a pose, you are spreading the fingers wide, gripping the mat lightly with the fingertips, stacking the wrists, elbows, and shoulders in a straight line, knees directly under the pelvis. Make sure the spine is neutral and the belly button is not dropping towards earth. Pull the belly button in towards the spine, neutral spine, and begin your cat and cow. So inhaling to arch the spine and exhaling to round. And just see if you can initiate every movement from the hips all the way up to the crown of the head. Do it to your own breath. Taking two more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, slowly inhale yourself back to a neutral spine. As you exhale, tuck your toes under, push the hips high. Find yourself in downward facing dog and walk those feet. Walk those feet. Keep the hands super engaged and activated. Fingers are still spread wide. You're still gripping the mat lightly with the fingertips. Stabilizing through the wrists, pushing chest towards thighs, tailbone points high, high, high. And if you're in a room, aim towards the part where the wall meets the ceiling. And then bring yourself into stillness. Push both heels towards earth. And actually just bend the knees for a minute. Find length from your hands all the way up to the tailbone. Feel that lengthening, fingertips to tailbone. And then on an exhale, bring both heels towards earth, keeping the length in the upper body. Stay here. Take two breaths. Breathing in. Last breath. And then on your next inhale, I want you to roll forward into plank. And as you exhale, just lower yourself all the way down to the belly, keeping the hands just underneath the shoulders. finding cobra, wrapping the elbows in towards the ribs. Dropping the forehead down as if you're going to touch the mat, but not quite. And then just roll up like a swan, rolling up its neck, snaking up into cobra. So take an inhale and come up. Inhale, roll the shoulders back first. Let the head be the last thing to come up. Allow yourself to roll up high with the use of the arms, but then once you're there, see if you can use the back muscles only. Take the hands away from the floor. Take 2 breaths. Last breath. Land the hands on the end of that inhale and come up into downward facing dog. Stay here, take 2 breaths. Last breath. And then on your next inhale, step forward. Find a halfway lift, and then as you exhale, come into Uttanasana, deep forward fold. And wherever your body is at the moment, whether you want to keep the legs straight or whether you need to bend the knees, go there. Grab opposite elbows and just allow yourself to dangle a little bit. Grounding through the soles of the feet. Make sure that they're placed intentionally. Look down at them. Are they hips width distance? Are the toes pointing slightly in, heels pointing slightly out? Adjust if not. Find that stability. And then come into the breath. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then dropping your arms, bending the knees if the legs are straight. Slowly inhale, roll up. Breathing out when you get there. Head is the last thing to rock up. And just stay here for a moment, still grounding through the soles of the feet, allowing the blood to flow back from head to feet. And just enjoy the feeling of flow in the body already. And we're going to move into Sun Salutations, Series C. So come to the top of your mat if you're not there already. And bring Tadasana, mountain pose, into the body. Lifting the kneecaps up, turning on the legs, pulling navel slightly in towards the spine, engaging the core lightly. Activating the arms by spreading the fingers wide and pulling down towards earth. Crown of the head pulls up. Solid in Tadasana. Take a deep breath in. Breathe it out through the nose. And bringing the hands together in prayer. Inhale, arms up, palms together over the head. Look at the thumbs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back, ground the knee. You look up. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step it back to plank. Bring the knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale, scoop forward, find cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward, ground the left knee, you look up. Exhale, step forward to fold. Inhale, prayer hands up through the midline, all the way over the head. Raise your gaze. Exhale through Namaste, all the way back to Tadasana. And again, inhale. Bring your prayer up. Exhale, fold, thumbs to third eye. Inhale, left leg steps back, Anjane Asana, you look up. Exhale, step it back, bring the knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Inhale, scoop forward, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward, ground the back knee, you look up. Exhale, step forward and fold. Prayer hands up through the midline as you inhale. Exhale through Namaste all the way back to Tadasana. 2 more rounds. Inhale. And fold. Right leg back. Gaze up. Exhale, bring it back, knees, chest, and chin. Keep the elbows wrapped into the ribs. Inhale, scoop forward, find cobra. Exhale, pull up, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, inhale, ground the back knee. Exhale, step forward and fold. Prayer hands rising up. And exhale all the way back to Tadasana. And again, inhale. Exhale, fold. Left leg back. And knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, scoop. Exhale, down dog. Left leg steps forward. And exhale, step forward to fold. Prayer hands up. And exhale, back to Tadasana. Last round. Inhale. And fold. Right leg back. Step it back, knees, chest, and chin. Scoop forward into cobra. Exhale, down dog. Right foot steps forward, ground the back knee. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, prayer hands up. Exhale, through Namaste to Tadasana. Inhaling, last one. Exhale, fold. Left leg steps back. Exhale to knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward. And exhale to fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to the heart. Staying here, take a breath in. And exhale, release. Coming into Tadasana, staying there. Take another breath, breathing in. Exhale through the mouth. And then releasing mountain from the body. Take a step back with whichever leg means that you're facing the screen, and find a wide-legged stance. So make sure that the feet are parallel, toes lined up with toes, heels lined up with heels. And we're going to go into the standing postures. First one being warrior two. So right foot is going to be the front foot. So you're going to turn the right foot heel in 45 degrees and the right foot toes out 45 degrees. You end up with the right foot at 90 degrees to your left foot. And some of you may not have stepped back very far, so I want you to do a little test. And if you bend into that right knee and you stack your right knee over the right ankle, do you feel like your legs are working and that you've got enough distance? Because really you want to be as wide as possible so that there's no way that you can, that it's harder for you to push the knee forward over the ankle. There's nothing wrong with pushing the knee forward over the ankle. You just don't want the knee to fall in, because then you have a torsion in the knee joint and that's not so healthy. You want to be able to look down and see only your big toe and the second toe of the right foot. And you should feel an opening in the hips. Okay, so if you have the right distance, it should feel really good, this opening. You also should feel like you're working. All right, so this is the foundation of the posture. It's very important. Push into the outer arch, the little toe edge of the back foot. Okay, ground into the sole, the big toe mound of the front foot. Okay, keep looking for only the big toe and the second toe. Keep that right knee pulling back. Keep that right hip opening. On your next inhale, bring the arms up, parallel to the floor, palms face down. As you exhale, turn your gaze to look down the middle finger of the right hand. Okay, now, keep grounding into the soles of the feet. Keep pushing down into the big toe mound of the front foot, the outer edge of the back foot. Keep the knee, so look down again. Can you only see your big toe and second toe? And if so, good. Keep it there. Hold it. Pull the navel in towards the spine a little bit. Lengthen from tailbone to the crown on your next inhale. And as you exhale, shoot energy out through the fingers. And stay here. Breathe the way you want to feel the power of this warrior pose. That strong grounding, that effortless lifting of the upper body, that lengthening in the spine, that energy out from the fingertips, that inward draw at the core, integrating all of it. Take one more breath. And maybe we deepen on this breath. And another breath, breathing in and out. Good. On your next inhale, straighten the front leg. And as you exhale, extend over. We're entering Trikonasana. Allowing the right hand to land on the leg, wherever it means that you keep the beautiful lines of this posture. So if that means heel toeing your back foot a little bit closer to your front foot, do it. The stance should be a little bit shorter than warrior two. And if you feel like turning the gaze up to the top hand, do that. But if the neck doesn't feel good doing that, you can turn the gaze forward. Push again, more weight into the back foot. So the outer edge of that back foot is really important. You want to push maybe the hips more towards the back. Feel that intensify the stretch in the front leg. Keep the chest nice and open. Keep the core working so you're not sinking down into the supporting hand. Take one more breath. And then slowly inhale, bringing yourself all the way up. Exhale, release the arms. Okay, and then just turning towards the right leg. So you find a high lunge. All right. And then spin the back heel down to 45 degrees. And again, maybe we close the distance between the feet for warrior one. Okay. So again, stacking. Front knee over the ankle. And because we're trying to line up heel to heel here, if you find that difficult, and this internal, because the secret to this posture is the internal rotation of the femur bone, the thigh bone in the hip joint. So you want to feel as though your inner thighs are rolling back. Okay, so before the arms even come into it, we're squaring the hips to the end of the mat as much as we can. Okay, so a closer distance between the feet this way and a wider distance between the feet that way helps if you're finding this difficult. Okay, so experiment with distance and width. If the heel to heel alignment doesn't work for you, you should feel quite comfortable wherever you are. Well, not quite comfortable, a little bit awkward, but as comfortable as possible. And then as you inhale, bring the arms up. And as you exhale, I want you to pull the bottom tips of the rib cage towards the spine. Okay, you see that adjustment. It also increases the stretch in the back leg. Hold it here. Keep that grounding, so pushing down into the big toe mound of the front foot. Internally rotating in the left hip. Very strong internal rotation to keep the hips square. So it's that as if the right hip is pulling back, left hip pushes forward. That's what you want to feel in the hips. There's a lot of work going on in the legs. And core, the belly button should still be pulling in towards the spine. You're not banana backing, holding it here. Arms reaching up, head is level. Take one more breath. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release the arms. And again, just parallel the feet. Take a little break here. Breathing in through the nose. Out through the nose. Turn now the left heel in, 45 degrees. Toes out, 45 degrees. Find that 90-degree angle. And if you needed to widen the stance for warrior two, do that now. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bend into that front knee. Look for your big toe and second toe. And feel into the distance. Does that feel right for you? You should feel like you're working. You should have a stretch. You're grounding into the big toe mound of the front foot, pushing into the outer edge of the back foot. You should feel the work and the strength of this foundation. If it feels good, you are there. On your next inhale, bring the arms parallel to the floor, fingers stuck together. Arms are active as the fingertips reach out to the sides. Turn the gaze down the middle finger of the left hand this time. And feel extremely proud bearing in the upper body, from the chest, the shoulders, all the way up to the crown of the head. You have space. Maybe you deepen. Keep pushing and grounding into those feet. Keep looking down, making sure you only see the big toe and the second toe. Get that feeling of what it is to have that alignment in the body, and instead of using your sense of sight, get it into the body memory. Feel the work. Pull the navel in towards the spine. Keep the torso facing to the side and not leaning forward in any way. Neck is long, shoulders are down. Breathing in, lengthen from tailbone to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, shoot the energy out through the fingertips as you deepen. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. Maybe you heel toe the back foot a little bit closer to the front foot, and then as you exhale, enter into Trikonasana. Finding the lines of this posture, and again, adjusting where you need to with the distance between the feet. Bringing the hands all the way down to the leg to facilitate the beautiful lines of this pose. And again, see if you can push a little bit more weight into the back leg. Try and use the core, so you're really using the core. Even though you're stretching right side body here, you want to twist open the chest. Turn the gaze upwards if that feels good. Lengthen from tailbone to crown. And again, if the head is not liking looking up, you can just gaze straight ahead. Take 2 more breaths. Last breath. Lengthening through tailbone to crown. Exhale, pushing back into that back foot. And then inhale, coming straight up. Exhale, breathe the arms down. And this time turning so the left foot stays in the front. Finding high lunge first. Maybe closing the distance a little bit before spinning the back heel down. And either lining up heel to heel here. And internally rotating in the right hip. Or widening the distance between the feet to maybe as wide as the hips. So that you find this foundation first. How easy is it for me to square the hips to the front edge of my mat? And if it feels like they're square, great. Okay, hold it here. And then inhale, bringing the arms up. As you exhale, draw the bottom tips of the rib cage towards the spine. Keep that internal rotation nice and active in the right hip. Bend into the front knee. Keep the right hip pushing forward. Keep the left hip pulling back. Feeling that scissor action in the hips working. Ground into the big toe mound of the front foot. Breathe. Arms are active, reaching up, palms facing towards each other. My fingers are spread wide. Taking 2 more breaths. Last breath. And then take 1 more inhale. And exhale, release the arms down. And on your inhale, step forward. And shake it out. Shake it out. Good, coming all the way down to the mat in Vajrasana, hero pose. Kneeling seat, hands go to the thighs. Find your conscious breath. Let the body process all the work that has come before. And we're going to enter into camel pose, back bend. So coming up onto the knees. Knees can be as wide as the hips here. And I want you to think about expanding front side body in a back bend always. Focus is not really on the lower back since that is made to bend back, so we'll do that anyway, whether we focus there or not. But the thoracic spine, the upper spine, is not made for bending. So we want to focus a sense of lengthening in the upper spine. So basically, as you come back, you can take the first option, which is to take the hands behind the hips, fingers pointing down. And the hands are here to help support the hips, pushing forward and also a little bit down as you come back. So elbows pointing backwards and not out to the sides, opening across the shoulders. And then as you next inhale, I want you to think about opening the heart, lengthening from pubic bone all the way up to the throat. So you have an outward push of energy that radiates out in a semicircle from front side body. Include the thighs in that. All the way up into the throat, all the way up into the face. Okay, if that feels good, stay here. The head can actually stay looking forward if you don't want to include the neck in it. If you want to drop the head back, you can do that too. Second option is you tuck the toes. And if this feels comfortable for you, you can bring one hand down to the heel and then the second hand down to the heel. But keep that opening. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep lengthening from pubic bone all the way up to the face. It's an outward push of energy, so radiating like sun out from front side body. If that feels good, you can untuck the toes, coming into full expression of camel. And again, lengthen front side body. Lengthening, lengthening. Take 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, slowly coming up, using the core, sitting the hips to heels. And you can go knees wide or knees together in child's pose. It's up to you. Coming all the way down, countering the back bend. Grounding through the third eye, through all your contact points. Send your conscious breath, both inhale and exhale, to the lower back, the sacrum. Feel the energizing effect of that back bend. Taking one more breath. And then on your next inhale, slowly rolling up into a kneeling seat. And coming to sit on your bottom, both legs straight out in front of you. Coming into Janushirshasana, single leg forward fold, beginning with the right leg. So leave the right leg straight, bend the left knee. Pull out the flesh of the buttock, ground the right sit bone. Flex the right foot, and then I always turn my navel, my belly button, towards my right foot so that I already feel the twist, a light twist in my spine before I come down. Take an inhale, bring the arms up. And as you exhale, slowly come forward. Reach forward, belly to thighs, chest to foot. And whatever time of day you're doing this, be gentle. It's first thing in the morning for me here. So I'm going to be a lot more slow with coming down into my full depth, doing it with the breath. So every inhale, lengthen through the spine or lengthen through front side body. And as you exhale, gently work together with the body, listen. Go with your breath. One last breath. And inhale, slowly rise. Bring your arms up with you. Exhale, breathe it down. Inhale, straighten the left leg. And exhale, bend the right. Pull out the flesh of the left buttock, ground the left sit bone, flex the left foot, turn the navel towards the foot. Take an inhale, arms rise. Exhale, slowly reach forward with the breath. Feel into the back of the leg. Feel what it's saying to you. Notice which side is more open, which side needs a little bit more love. Close the eyes, come into the breath and work with your body together. One more breath. And then slowly inhale, arms up. Exhale, breathe it down. Inhale to straighten the right leg, finding Paschimottanasana. Make sure that both sit bones are grounded. Flex both feet, stick the feet together. Nice and tall in Dandasana first. Tall spine. Take an inhale, arms rise. And as you exhale again, reach forward to come down. Reach forward, reach forward. You don't want to be rounding the lower spine at all. You want that very straight spine. You want the belly reaching towards the thighs. You want the rib cage to lengthen towards the knees. You want the chest to reach towards the feet. Because if you round the spine here, before the belly reaches the thighs, you will take away the stretch from the back of the legs. So work to lengthen from the insertion point of the hamstring. Because this is what we're doing. So it's more about the tilt, the forward tilt of the hips. It's more of a back bend feeling in the spine rather than a rounding feeling. And if your hands actually touch the feet, you can slide your second and third fingers between the big toe and the second toe. Just stay here, focusing on finding that length in the lower back. Close your eyes. And again, this is the first in a series of Paschimottanasanas. We will come back here. So take it easy for this first one so that you can notice the gradual difference as we come back again and again. Take one more breath. And then inhale, rise with the arms. Exhale, breathe it down. And then just scooch forward a little bit so you can come down onto your backs. And we're going to enter into shoulder stand now. So if shoulder stand is not where you are today, you can take the legs at 90. And you can even slide a block underneath the sacrum here if you want to make it restorative. So if that's where you're at today, go there. Otherwise, those of you that want to come into shoulder stand, bring the legs up to 90. And then on your next inhale, slowly bring yourself all the way up into shoulder stand and hold it here. Deepen the breath. Push the big toe mounds up towards the sky. Hold it. One more breath. And then slowly bring the feet all the way down beyond the head into plow pose. Hold it here. Deep breaths. Those of you that want to clasp the hands together, push the fist down into the mat, go there. Take one more breath. And then slowly unclasping the hands, if that's where you were, and gently bringing yourself all the way down. Just bringing everything down to the floor. Resting here for a moment. Stay with the conscious breath. Take one more breath here. Nice and deep. And then gently bringing yourself all the way up. We're going to take another Paschimottanasana here. So both legs straight out in front of you, feet stuck together, sit bones grounded. Take an inhale, raise the arms up. And as you exhale again, reach forward to come down. Spine nice and straight, belly to thighs, ribs lengthening towards knees. And if the belly does touch the thighs, then you can begin to round. Deep breaths, work with the body. Notice if there is a difference between this one and the first one. One more breath. And then slowly inhale, bringing yourself all the way up. Exhale, breathe the arms down. And then come into a cross-legged seat for the seal of yoga. I'm going to stay this way so you can see. So the hands can be clasped behind you, or if you can grab your elbows, you can grab your elbows. And then take a breath in, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, slowly come forward. You don't have to come all the way down to the floor. In fact, it doesn't matter. Just find a fold that is comfortable for you. Stay there. Come into the breath. Last breath. And then as you inhale, slowly rolling back up to a straight spine. Exhale, release the hands, straighten the legs out, and again come all the way down onto the back for fish pose, Matsyasana. So sliding the hands, palms facing down underneath the buttocks. Bring the feet together, point the toes. As you inhale, you're going to come up onto the elbows, open through the chest. Exhale, drop the head back, landing the crown of the head on the mat. Breathing into heart center with the inhalation, breathing into the diaphragm, breathing into the belly, the low belly. And as you exhale, you're grounding. Keep the legs active, point the toes. Home to the breath. Last breath. And then on your next inhale, slowly come out, coming up onto the elbows first. Untuck the head. Exhale, bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Remove the hands out from underneath the buttocks. Take one breath here, breathing in, breathing out. And then slowly come all the way back up for Paschimottanasana once again. So, feet together, flex the feet, check the sit bones are grounded. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, reach forward to come down. Come to the breath, breathe nice and deep. Work with the body. One more breath. And then inhale, slowly coming all the way up. Exhale, breathing the hands down. And then cross your legs. We're going to come down onto our belly for some prone back bends on the belly. Starting with cobra, which we've already done. So feet as wide or wider than the hips. Hands underneath the shoulders, elbows wrapped into the ribs, dropping the forehead down as if to touch the floor. And then inhale, roll the shoulders back, peel the chest up. Head is the last thing to come up. Gaze is somewhere on the floor in front of you. Neck is nice and neutral. Try not to engage the buttocks too much. Lightly engaged in the buttocks. Most of the work being done by the back muscles. Keep the heart shining forward. Keep the shoulders pulling back. Keep the elbows wrapped into the ribs. And breathe. As little weight in the hands as you possibly can. One more breath. And then take one more inhale. And as you exhale, slowly come all the way down. Bring the hands together in front of the face. Rest the forehead down. Take a breath. And then coming into the next one, this is locust pose, the Hatha version. So it's sliding the hands underneath the hips. And you can either have the hands in this position or have it fisted with thumbs either side of the pubic bone. So bringing the hands into position, you are going to basically lift the legs. So how high is not the point. I want you to think of the legs as an extension of the spine. And instead of thinking about reaching up, I want you to think about reaching back and finding length. Okay, so chin to the floor. On your next inhale, reach back with the legs. Keep everything else grounded. Just reach back, and come to the breath. See if you can keep the breath flowing. Taking one more breath. And then one more inhale, reach. And then as you exhale, slowly lower the legs all the way down. Remove the hands out. Bring the hands together in front of the face. And slowly rest. Taking a couple of breaths here. Letting your body process those two back bends. You can take an exhale through the mouth if that feels good. Okay, we've got one more back bend here on the belly. This is bow pose, asana. So, staying on the belly, bend the knees, bring the heels to the buttocks, and grab the ankles. Now, if you cannot quite get there with both ankles, you can just do it one by one, okay? And actually, if you're doing it one by one, you can actually roll onto the side and take a side bow. So you get the benefit of actually the back bend, one on each side. So if you're doing this, I would do 3 breaths each side. Okay, so that's an option. Otherwise, grab both ankles. And then slowly, as you inhale, flex the feet. Pull back. Pull back. Feel the opening across the chest, in the shoulder joints. Feel the hamstrings working super hard here. Okay? Focus the gaze. Come to the breath. Keep the feet pulling back. Keep the chest shining forward. Breathing so deep that you're rocking on the belly. Taking one more breath. And one more inhale. And as you exhale, let it go. Coming all the way down. Again, hands in front of the face. Rest the forehead down. Take a couple of breaths, breathing out through the mouth if you need to get rid of some heat. One more breath. And then on your next breath, just come all the way onto your backs. Bending the knees, lengthening the sacrum on the mat. Feet are as wide as the hips, with the toes slightly turned in and heels slightly turned out. So look at mine. It's not hugely angled, but just a little. Okay, coming into bridge pose. So bring the hands and arms either side of the body, palms facing down. On your next inhale, push down into the feet to lift the hips up. And I want you to think about the tailbone pulling upwards. Again, you're pointing the tailbone up towards the place where the wall meets the ceiling if you're in a room. And lifting up through the chest. So pushing down into the arms to lift up through the chest. So you feel this chin to chest position. And if you're high enough, you can roll the shoulders under, clasp the hands together, push the fist down into the floor to help facilitate even more lift, even more opening in front side body. And again, hamstrings working super hard here. Stay here, ground through the soles of the feet, push into the big toe mounds, push into the heels, breathe. Taking one more breath. And then one more inhale. And as you exhale, unclasp the hands, roll the shoulders out, bring the spine all the way down to the mat. Keep the knees bent, palms face up, take a little breath. Take a little rest. And then on your next breath, slowly bring yourself all the way back up. And you've got it. Your final Paschimottanasana. Both legs straight out in front of you, ground the sit bones, feet together, flex. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, reach forward to come down. Find your breath. Taking one more breath. And then slowly inhale, rise with the arms. Exhale, breathe it down. Okay, bend the right knee. This is option 1, seated twist. Option 2 is to take the right foot over the right thigh. And option 3 is to take the full version with the legs, bringing your left heel to the right buttock. All right. So, because the right knee is up, it's the left arm that wraps. So ground the right hand palm that supports a tall spine. Keep facing forward as we inhale, lengthen through the spine. And the arm comes up. As you exhale, either hook or wrap your arm around the right knee, coming into your twist. Keeping the hips square. Every inhalation is about lengthening from sit bones all the way up to the crown. And the exhalation is softening that right shoulder back. Softening rather than deepening. Find your breath. Inhaling up the spine. Exhaling, softening the shoulder. Taking one more breath. And then on your next inhale, turn to face the front. Exhale, straighten out the legs. Inhale, bend the left knee. And then taking your options, either here, option 1, option 2, or option 3. This time, left hand is the support. Left arm is the support for the spine. Inhale to lengthen, raise the right arm up. And as you exhale, either wrap or hook your elbow over the left knee, turning the gaze over the left shoulder. And again, finding that length on the inhalation in the spine. Softening the left shoulder as you breathe out. Taking one more breath. And then on your next inhale, turn back to face the front. Exhale, straighten out the legs. And then just come into a yogic squat. Slowly push up the hips. Inhale, slowly roll up. Coming into Uddiyana Bandha, the stomach lock. We're going to do this 3 times. And I will just show you what it is. So find a wide stance first. Feet at 45, wider than the hips, so that you can bend down into this position. If that feels comfortable, then you've got the right distance. Okay, so what this exercise is, we're going to work with the breath and we're going to lock the stomach. So I'm just going to show you one time. Inhaling a deep breath in. And then exhaling all the way out as you bend into the knees. And then you keep the breath pushed out and you try and pull the stomach up. So you keep all of the breath pushed out. And while you're empty of breath, you basically try and pull the stomach up into the ribs and you hold the breath. You hold it, you hold it, you hold it as long as you can. And then you drop the stomach out and inhale, come up to stand, and then breathe out. Okay, we're going to do 3 rounds. You should not be doing it until you're dizzy and fall over. It should be within your capacity, so control it. And then drop the stomach first before you inhale to come up. Okay, so together now, take a deep breath in. Exhale, breathe it out. Pull up the stomach. Just stay normal breaths. Okay, second round. Deep inhale. Exhale, breathe it all out. Suck it up. Okay. Third and final round. Deep inhale. Exhale. Good. Slowly coming to the top of the mat. Let's take a ending standing back bend. So hooking both thumbs together, creating like a butterfly shape with the hands. Take an inhale and think about, again, lengthening front side body. Reaching back, pushing the hips forward, lengthening through the spine. Keep breathing. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, let it go. Come into Uttanasana, forward fold. Stay with the breath. One more breath. And then on your next breath, just turn the feet out. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Coming into Shavasana. Let go of your conscious breath. And come to rest before the seated practice. Slowly coming back. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. And then just bring small movements in the body. Slowly blinking open the eyes. And coming all the way up into a seat for the seated part of the practice. Finding something to sit on, like a block or a meditation cushion. And we will now do spinal breathing, pranayama. It is a long conscious breath. So once you come into your seat, bring the hands to the knees. And I want you to close your eyes and begin to visualize the path that your breath will take within your own body. So not only seeing it in your mind's eye, but also seeing if you can actually feel this path in your body. It begins at the root, so in the perineum. That's the space in between the genitals and the anus. You'll probably feel the contact of this part of your body on whatever it is you're sitting on. So just take your awareness there to the perineum, the root. And the path of your breath will start there and rise up from there into the spinal column. It travels all the way up the spinal column, through the spinal column of the neck as well, where it hits the occipital bone, the big bone that joins the cervical spine to the skull. And then from that bone, it travels through the middle of the head and into your third eye point, in between and just above the eyebrows, in the middle of your forehead. Okay, so just begin to feel that path, perineum, spinal column, column of the neck, occipital bone, through the head and into the third eye. So this is the path that your breath will follow, and every inhale begins at the root, and you breathe in all the way up that path where the inhalation ends at the third eye point. And then the exhale begins at the third eye, and travels down the same path, ending at the root. This is the exercise. It's really simple. So deepen your breath now and begin to breathe up and down this path. And how you might see it in your mind's eye, it could be a thread, it could be a golden string, it could be a tube, anything that feels natural for you to visualize. I usually go by feeling it in my body. And the two most important points are the root and the third eye points. If you find that the breath varies from the path in between these 2 points, that is completely fine. As long as the inhale begins at the root and ends at the third eye, and the exhale starts at the third eye and ends at the root, it's all good. So if you have not yet begun, please do so now. Spinal breathing, pranayama. finishing on an exhale. And then letting go completely of your conscious breath. Bring yourself back to your effortless, natural breath. Feel the full weight of your body grounding down into earth through all your contact points. Feeling the spine rising tall, everything else sinking down. Bring your meditation object into focus, whether that is a breath or your mantra. Moving into meditation now. You may sit for as long as you want, ending with a shavasana. But for me now, thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.